Hi friends, I'm kind of back and I'm coming for the first time on again. I don't know what to call it really. I started to do my first vlog in the end of March, and it ended up being kind of a hit and miss, and I did some videos and I even posted some videos, but it didn't really turn out to this like regular vlogging thing that I had in mind. And today I want to do something special, like I want to do kind of a special vlog, and it is about working in the forest and working in bigger acreages when you have like woodlands, how to look after the trees, how to look after the entire property. My main background is in farming, but I have also worked in the forest industry many years ago in Germany after we were hit with really devastating storms that knocked the forest down. And so I got a little bit an insight. The other thing is, I had in Canada for the first 15 years, we farmed a small farm, only 65 hectares, so 160 acres. And a good portion of it, I would think about 20 hectares around there, was either woodland, or I don't know if I should call it forest. It was more woodland, a mix of poplar, black poplar, aspen, which is also a white poplar, and then we had a handful of pines on our property, and the rest was spruce trees. Main thing what I want to discuss today is if you have your own forest. I have noticed that many people have a really hard time of cutting trees out. And while that is more than understandable, I love trees and I plant a lot of trees and replant a lot of trees, and I'm caring for trees. But I know it is, if you want a healthy forest, it is absolutely essential that you stay on top of the growth of the trees to keep them healthy, strong, stable, and less dangerous in terms of strong winds or heavy snowfalls. My main objective today is to help you to get a better understanding how you can maintain a healthy forest. Even if that is a small lot like here. To give you a bit of a background, I did already go through this forest last year. And I cut down a lot of trees, small trees, mainly dead trees, but also small trees with no future. And I will show you in a minute what I mean by no future. So guys, now I try to give you a little bit an overview over the woodland that I'm working in. So you see it's a mixed forest, as you can see. So we have the aspen, the white poplar here. And we have, of course, a lot of spruce trees. And then when you look exactly here, then you see there is also a pine tree in the middle here between those. So I would look, especially with spruce trees, I would look for trees that have a healthy base, which means they are solid, standing on the ground, not leaning, not like with a large foot or you see a damage on a root or a hole or something like this, but a nice solid foundation, having a good base. So what I mean with a good base is, and it's difficult today with the sunlight is so, okay, here we go. So this tree, for example, for me has a very good base. As you can see, there is like a solid root growing on the stump here, and there's lots of room for that tree all around it. Then when I have a group of trees like this, an arrangement like this, then I'm starting to look from different angles, and I'm saying, okay, which of the trees has the best potential of root base, like where's the most room for the tree to have solid roots. If you keep more distance between the trees, like what we have here, you see the undergrowth, like there's lots of green, fresh stuff growing on the ground. So as soon as we move out of sunlight into a more thicker part of that bush here, then you see like there the trees become very close to each other, and I cut already a lot out last year, but here's next to no green and nothing growing really on the ground to replace the trees later on, right? And the second thing is I'm looking which of the trees are maybe leaning as a total, leaning in one direction and have already the tendency to lean, especially if they are thin trees, like young trees like that, and they have a lean and they are very tall. If you get in heavy snow, those trees are the first ones to break. This here is of course more young wood, what we have here. It's more younger trees. But as you can see, there is that mixture between poplar and spruce, and more light shines through right to the bottom. And then what I like to do, if I have this scenario that I have more light on the bottom of the forest, then I start to replant. And as you can see here, this is a new planted tree. And then I have 3 more here. But if you look into here, you see that there are some trees that are very, very close together, like those 2, very close, the 3rd one very close, and then we have some trees that are a little bit further away. And a tree that you fell, you can tell where it should go. And I show you about felling techniques in a different video, but you can tell the tree, or you can make the decision where the tree should go. In a windstorm or in a snowstorm, the tree goes wherever it wants or wherever the gravity pulls it. So then you can actually damage healthy trees by not taking care of a tree that is already in a bad lean. I take that out. If I show any kind of forestry work, I really emphasize that if you do anything with a chainsaw and it's not your profession and it's something you do not on a regular basis, that you really take care of having the proper equipment on you. And what I mean by that is actually a personal protective gear. So what you can't see right now is I have steel toe boots on. All the time I really wear the helmet with the eye protection and with the hearing protection, right? So that is a small saw, and I feel absolutely comfortable to, without holding it to the ground, to start it like this. So here I have the first example why I cut this tree. What I'm trying to show here is, so I saw from the bottom that this tree had this tip. And maybe I have even to go a little bit back to show exactly what I mean. So you see the real tip died off, and then it built a new one, and that's not even a straight good tip. Plus the tree was so close to another tree that it's totally one-sided. No branches here, all the branches there. Very unhealthy tip, not really a future for that tree, so take it down. And when you have a narrow forest like this, your stuff finds everywhere a place to hang up again. There we go. There's the next one. This tree, for example, you can really see, like, this is a straight tree. This tree has that lean, and unfortunately for this tree, there's lots of space for the roots to go that way, but very little possibility for the roots to go this way because there's two other trees competing directly. So even if that tree doesn't look too bad on the top, I still want to cut it down because it is, like, the bad thing in this case is no roots here. All the branches on top are this way. So if you get a snowstorm with heavy wet snow, it will fall anyway. It will anyway go, and this way I can actually control the fall and give those trees a fighting chance in terms of competing with water and all that stuff, and just the soil source and the nutrition in the soil. So I will cut this out here. And I will check for my felling line. I don't know how much you can see in the video, but I'm doing this this little wedge here. To force the tree in one direction. And then the cut, the felling cut. Yeah, see, I really take the time to make a good decision for the trees that have the best fighting chance of survival and really growing into trees with a future. And with those three, I really have trouble to say, okay, which one do I take and which ones do I give a chance? And I think I have selected this tree. This will go. I don't. And then I try to press it right in there. And you can see in the video the wind is blowing all the stuff back to me. And it's just hanging on some branches there. But there we go. Sometimes the best way with small ones is just to cut them off and pull them out. Yeah. And I just want to give you an idea how I thinned this area out, and you see all the mess, which is just for right now, of course. But you see now, when you look up here, there's much more light in here, right? In the crowns, there's more room for the trees to compete for sunlight. See, in this angle here, out of that area in the center of the picture, there's 3 trees gone just in that neighborhood here. So that makes a big difference. And then you see on the bottom again, you see stump number 1, there's stump number 2, there's another stump that I did before, and then I did this tree over here. That was in the background of of the video. And when you look along that tree, there's really only dead branches on this end here. And then when we go up, look at that, that's all dead. There's not a single green branch until we come to about here where my foot is right now. This is where the first branch is, and then look at that poor top of the tree laying here. There was no room for that tree to grow. I will make a lot of room for sunlight to come in, and within 2 years this forest floor here will be all green. There will be lots of new growth, and I want to plant some new trees in here for the next generation. So I hope this video is helpful for people that have forests or woodland or something on the farm, to just have an idea what to look for to give the forest the best fire protection for one. Like if you are in an area where forest fires are a concern, that you really have something where if a forest fire would move in the area, your forest is relatively safe. And also a forest where you have actually in the end, where you have trees like this beauty here, you know, like with a nice trunk that you can actually use for something. You could almost use that bottom trunk for almost for a log home. Not a big one, but for a cabin for sure. Hope that was helpful, and I'm glad I pushed myself to do this recording. And so long, have a good one.